Terms of use. This is a legally binding agreement between user, you, and Carcel regarding your rights to use 3D models from the site under this agreement. You refers to the purchasing entity, whether that is a natural person who must be at least 18 years of age, or a corporate entity. The rights granted in this agreement are granted to the purchasing entity on a royalty-free basis, which means that after a purchase, there are no future royalties or payments that are required. 1. Definitions. 1.1. 3D model is the collection of one or more digital files, packaged in the form of a product on the site that can be identified by a 3D model name, and that is made available to you for purchase on the site. A 3D model may include 3D model files, geometry, texture maps, materials and other constituent files related to the 3D model data and its representation. 1.2. Site refers to the Carcel websites, APIs, software applications or any approved means or utility either currently in existence or in the future. The software and source code used by Carcel to provide such services, user interface layouts, designs, images, text, knowledge base articles, program offers, site information provided in reports, such as popular keyword searches, and all other intellectual property protected under copyright, trademark, patent, publicity, or any other proprietary right. 1.3. Purchase is the acquisition of a 3D model by you from the site under this agreement, whether as a purchase of 3D model made available at a price of greater than $0, or a download of 3D model made available at no charge. 1.4. Product page is the product page or interface that displays 3D models available for purchase on the site. 2. License rights. 2.1. Ownership. Carcel does not grant title or ownership in 3D models. All rights in 3D models not expressly granted in this agreement are reserved by Carcel for itself. 2.2. For 3D models, Carcel grants you a non-exclusive, perpetual right to reproduce, create derivative works. You may request permission for a use not covered by this agreement, new use, by writing. Carcel is authorized to approve the new use if Carcel finds in its sole judgment that the new use is substantially similar to another established use in this agreement and authorizes the new use in writing. 2.3. The image of 3D models can be used by Carcel for advertising purposes. 2.3.1. The images of a product made with the help of 3D models can be used for advertising purposes with or without the consent of the buyer. 2.4. User's use of physical form products. 2.4.1. The user is not limited in the use of physical form products created from a 3D model. 2.5. If you use 3D models in an unauthorized way, Carcel may terminate your account and pursue other penalties, damages, losses, and profits Carcel is entitled to under this agreement or at law or equity. The following are unauthorized uses that are explicitly prohibited. 2.5.1. You may not use 3D models in a way that competes with the site, including distributing through 3D model clearinghouses. You may not publish, distribute, or make 3D models available through any online clearinghouse infrastructure. Exceptions are the circumstances and rights provided for by the agreement. 2.5.2. You may not use 3D models for any defamatory, harassing, pornographic, obscene, or racist purpose, or to infringe any party's depicted intellectual property rights. 2.5.3. You may not misrepresent yourself as the creator of 3D models. 2.5.4. You may not redistribute, publish, or make 3D models available to any third party. 2.6. Carcel undertakes not to transfer materials related to the development and production of 3D models to third parties without the consent of the user. 2.7. In cases of reaching a preliminary agreement, Carcel undertakes not to distribute 3D models. 3. Final provisions. 3.1. The terms of the agreements are indefinite, unless they are terminated as described herein. 3.2. The user is solely responsible for the use of 3D models in the territory of his state in accordance with local laws. 3.3. This agreement may be amended by Carcel without any prior notice. Any changes to the agreement made unilaterally by Carcel shall come into force on the day following the day such changes are published by Carcel on the website. You agree to independently check the agreement for changes. Your failure to take action to familiarize yourself with the agreement or the amended version of the agreement cannot serve as a basis for your failure to fulfill your obligations and your failure to comply with the restrictions established by the agreement. 3.4. The agreement will terminate immediately and without prior notice in the following cases. Upon such termination, you must stop using the 3D models. 3.4.1. Your right and license to 3D models are contingent on your purchase of 3D models. Any payment reversal of a purchase for any reason immediately terminates all rights granted under this agreement. Potential reasons for a payment reversal include 3.4.2. Carcel reverses your purchase at your request. 3.4.3. Carcel receives a charge back or other notice from your bank or credit card canceling your purchase and/or withdrawing the funds used for your purchase. 3.4.4. Carcel determines in its sole discretion that your purchase was fraudulent. 3.5. If the purchase was successful and the user has received actual access to the 3D model, link to download the file, in accordance with Clause 4.1 of this agreement, a refund is not possible. 3.6. Material failure to abide by the terms of this agreement immediately terminates your right and license to 3D models. If you detect a violation of the license grant by you or any recipient of shared 3D models, and promptly report the violation to carcel.cnc@gmail.com, Carcel will make a good faith effort to find an appropriate remedy to preserve your license grant. 3.7. You have full right, power, legal capacity, and authority to enter into and perform this agreement, have obtained any third-party consent needed to do so, and, prior to any purchase, had an opportunity to seek independent legal counsel. 3.8. You will not use 3D models except pursuant to the terms of this agreement. Should you use 3D models in an unauthorized way, you agree to any reasonable fee or penalty exercised by Carcel under this agreement or applicable law. 3.9. You will immediately notify Carcel of any legal claim or challenge against your use of 3D models or any other rights issue, before disclosing such issue to any third party. 4. Limitation of liability. 4.1. 3D models are provided on an as-is as available, and, with all faults, basis. Carcel makes no representations, warranties, conditions, or guarantees as to the usefulness, quality, suitability, truth, fitness for a particular purpose, non-infringement, merchantability, or cosmetic attributes of 3D models, and does not guarantee the accuracy or completeness of specifications associated with 3D models, including measurements, weight, durability, strength, materials, general physical properties, regulatory compliance, other engineering or construction attributes. 4.2. Carcel is not liable for any damages, whether material or intangible, caused to a third party in connection with the use of, due to 3D models or physical form products. The responsibility for the manufacture and use of 3D models for personal, educational or commercial purposes lies with the user. 4.3. You assume all risk for any damage to your computer systems and network or any damage to your computer system by obtaining 3D models, including any damages resulting from computer viruses. 4.3.1. Carcel is not responsible for the content of source materials. 4.4. To the fullest extent permitted by law, Carcel shall not be liable for any direct, indirect, punitive, special, incidental, consequential, or exemplary damages, including loss of business, revenue, profits, goodwill, use, data, electronically transmitted orders, or other economic advantage, arising out of or in connection with 3D models, even if Carcel has previously been advised of, or reasonably could have foreseen, the possibility of such damages, however they arise, whether in breach of contract or in tort, including negligence. To the extent that any jurisdiction does not allow the exclusion or limitation of direct, incidental, or consequential damages, portions of the preceding limitation or exclusion may not apply, but should be construed to the greatest extent applicable in such jurisdictions. 4.5. 3D models are both artistic, creative interpretations of popular products and the result of unique creative solutions. Any matches are random. 4.6. This agreement constitutes the entire agreement between you and Carcel relating to your purchase, unless you have a corporate license agreement with Carcel. Corporate licenses are available with additional protections for additional fees. 4.7. This agreement may be translated into other languages, but English is the official language of this agreement, and in any conflict between the English language version and any other version, the English language version shall control.